Just fucking do it. Subscribe now.
A couple of you said, and rightfully so, although it's a sad commentary, the highest performing thing you've ever done in your life is here. That shouldn't be. We have grown men in the room, or what I call pretenders. We have pretend grown men in the room, not really grown. And as the week goes through, and as you hear more and more of the webinars, either taped or in real time, like the Goomba Brothers later in the week, we have one more in person after TK, a guy named Tito, who's from Canada. He's here in spite of me, because in 2018, I told him that it's not likely that you're going to make it. I rarely say that. And now he's coming here to be put on the Hall of Fame. So occasionally I am wrong. And all you will go back, depending on how bad I beat you as individuals. Maybe I'm the one that he got it wrong on. That will be your hope, your last gasp. Prior to Tito, the last time I was wrong was 1995. So I wouldn't hold that out as your life raft. Any questions? You already know about the cell phone. I've got a lot of awards. I look like a diplomat now, and I'm far from that. And my wife, we're getting a tiara, so she looks more like a queen. Now, this guy's named McCarthy. He's the inventor or founder of AI, supposedly. You know how long AI has been around?
Decades?
Since 56. He invented AI at a Rutgers conference on, they didn't call it artificial intelligence, and he coined the phrase at the conference. He also got a Nobel Prize, not for that, for something else, because he was really smart. Is this program easier for the real smart? No, it's harder. So that some of you will take that as a saving grace. I guess I'm too smart to understand this. That's a straw a lot of people grab onto. It's not, but if you're an accountant, lawyer, doctor, and you've had a linear technical education, it'll take you longer to grasp this. Although there's people, like I said last night, that all of a sudden it jumps out of the TV screen at you, and you understand it instantly within 40 seconds or 4 seconds. We've had a few of those, not many. Not many. But he says, create massive unemployment and send profits soaring for our capitalist system. And he says exactly the opposite of what the companies are telling you, because they don't want their employees to go in panic mode. And I say between 20 and 40% of all entry-level jobs in the next 5 to 10 years, and between 40 and 60% of all the rest in the next 15 to 20 years. Which affects just about everybody in this room in a negative way. It affects a couple of us in a positive way. So if that's why you came here, you came for the right reason. If you came for any other reason, you're just, give me some of the shit. If it's not addicted, I'll get high with you. And everybody knows it. The QLA seminar is not just a seminar. It is a blueprint for creating generational wealth as fast as humanly possible. I teach you how to turn nothing into millions, billions, and even trillions. If you want to take control of your life, to create a legacy that lasts for generations, the time is now. Do not wait for the right moment. The right moment is this moment. Be bold, be selfish, be ruthless, and take no prisoners. I will still do seminars, but I won't be able to do this forever. Act now or not at your own peril. Thank you very much. There's not many people. How many have been to the new space agency headquarters at the Pentagon? I didn't think so. Okay? I've been there. I know what they talk and laugh about. Not just space-time continuums. Most of the people that you garnered information from are brain dead to creating generational wealth. In fact, I'll say all, with one or two exceptions, are in fact giving you misinformation. Yet you go like a dog that hasn't had water to the watering trough and lap it up. Because all the other guys and gals, with one or two exceptions, tell you it's easy to be a high-performance person. And I say just the opposite. There's only 3 medals in the Olympics, and most of the people that say they're Olympians didn't get a medal. And here, being successful here is harder than winning a gold medal at the Olympics. Now, that's not all of them. There's several more, but I can't use their name while they're alive, or their picture, or their facsimile while they're alive. When they're dead, then I can. And I said last night, I think, there's an inordinate amount of Dutchmen on the Hall of Shame. Well, they came up with the first Bitcoin, tulips, in 1535 to 1537. And a tulip in today's dollars got up to be like a $15, $20 million house. A tulip bulb. And then something happened. That black swan tsunami that I keep talking about, which has already happened once, I didn't know it was going to be Biden stepping down. But there's always a tsunami in the distance. And when you really get good at ascertaining, what's up and what's down, you'll be able to judge and plan your portfolio, which is going to be all QLA, accordingly. Now, I want to take a moment, a Hall of Fame guy, Peter Rasti, who, by his own admission, he's dead now. His own admission when he was here, and he came back to help you kids, he said, I'm a Hungarian Forrest Gump. That's what he said. And he was a Hungarian Forrest Gump. And I want to tell you 3 or 4 horror stories before we start the seminar, because I don't believe you understand how frequent they are. Otherwise, you'd pay closer attention. It's like a pedophile living next door to you. Your kid's little? Oh, well, I don't know if that's out of the pedophile arena or not, but anyway. But that's what it's like. A pedophile living next door to you, and you got little kids. That's how frequent it is. And yet you discount it. And part of the ways that you protect yourself in your QLA model is how you pick your board, how you pick your professionals, and most assuredly, the most important is how you pick your chairman, which we'll talk about that. But before he died, he was in a coma for 7 months, something like that. And his board turned on him. This is before he died. And so how can he fight for survival when he's in a coma? You can't. Fortunately for him, he had the right chairman. Even though the chairman was an asshole, he fought for him and kept the company more or less the same. And then when he got out of the coma, the chairman wanted more shares, which he deserved them then. And I go on and on and on. And they wait till something really bad happens to you or your family. Then they roll. Not all of them, but a good portion of them. Enough for me, 2 Hall of Famers, to tell you the story that happened last year. And all the stuff that you've taught, human nature, and that is all horseshit. And it's not even enough money. I used to tell the bankers, if I can take, steal, graft, a couple billion in cash, this was before Bitfuck, I'm gone. As we're signing the documents. And I had a banker named Frank Vangrowski, who was a lefty, and he signed this way, so as he signed, he went over his own signature, and his own signature was always smudged because his hands were sweating. I don't recommend you do that. But when you're self-confident and you know the world, you fart lightning bolts like me, you can do anything and the deal still closes. Whereas if you hiccup at the close, it gets pulled. Bankers can smell fear, just like I see fear in your eyes now. So we have a lot of people that unfortunately have to depend on their judgment and who they pick for a board. In my entire career, I've only lost one board member in 54 years. He died. I have never lost a board member other than through death. Whereas Josh Kim, superstar, went through 24 board members until he finally had the 6 that he ended up with, where he exited. 24 board members he went through. 3 chairmen, 3 CEOs, about 3 of everything. They just kept plodding along. And for those of you, he came to me when he was 16, and he was a part-time billionaire during Corona until the government took the $4 billion back from him because he couldn't perform, because he bought the masks, 42 zillion masks from Turkey, and they wound up selling them to the Russians for more money. So one of the things I teach you is when the money's deposited from the government, you change it the day it hits the bank. Why? Because you can even retrieve cashier's checks back. And you think once you've got a cashier's check, you're in. And you can't. They can go 2 or 3 banks and still retrieve the money from you. Yes, sir.
So I got a question on what you told about Josh. He went to 24 board members. So what is the reason why he went to the 24, and what was the reason?
He made 24 mistakes. It's like he picked you, each one of you, at least once to be a board member. If he picked, what is he, fucking brain dead? There's not a board member worth a shit in this room other than me. But he's 17 years old. What did you know at 17 other than how to jack off? Nothing, right? And I didn't want to be his chairman, although he asked me a couple times, because I knew I wanted him to be successful on his own. Because when I'm your chairman, back in the beginning, they didn't give you any credit, so really didn't build anything for you other than you got money. Most of you would be satisfied with that, you know. But it didn't build your cred, your street creds. Am I saying that right? Credibility. Because they say Peña did it. And in many cases, I did do it. But he went to 24. Yeah.
So he went to 24, but did he give shares to everybody?
Yes.
Took him back? Or?
Yeah, because and when you give them shares, they're going to cut your throat because you're not going to listen to me how to do it. That's what you're all afraid of, and you should be afraid because you're a cunt. I could take all your shares back, each one of you, and I'm going to tell you when I'm going to take them and how I'm going to take them, and I'll still take them from you because you're a cunt. I eat people like you while I'm taking a shit in the morning. And you know it down deep inside. You can't help yourself. What did I say? Were you listening to me 10 minutes ago? No, apparently not. You can't help yourself. And to pick 24 bad members of a board, you got to make the same mistake over and over and over. It's like Groundhog Day, the movie. And that's for real, because you can't help yourself. I'm not saying this should just hear myself flap my lips. My story has not changed in 54 fucking years. And the 33 years that I've been coaching you guys. Exactly the same. Because you just can't help yourself. And certain ethnicities are subject to can't help yourself even more. And we're going to go through a few letters later on today of a guy on my 75th birthday? Anyway, in my 70s, I'm in Kathmandu, Nepal, and I told them what was going to happen. And then it happened a few weeks later. And they left him, his board members left him for dead. Took everything. And I went ballistic, I'm told. I don't remember this part. I went ballistic, and they threw me out of the restaurant at the Kathmandu hotel. I went crazy when I found out that it was happening. I'm telling you, if you walk through that door, somebody's going to put a bullet in your fucking bald head. Doesn't matter how I know. You're still going to walk through the fucking door. Because you can't help yourself. Where's the Russian, the Ruski? Okay. We were discussing because I've been successful in Russia. I thought it's a piece of cake there. It's the only ethnicity that understands QLA before I open my mouth. It's the Russian model without a gun in your mouth. It's the mafia model without a gun in your mouth. The Medellin drug cartel had 2 guys come here to try to convince me to go to Colombia. $1 million a day they were going to pay me. We had a year or 2 ago, it sat right there, I think, Mexican Mafia, head lawyer for the Mexican Mafia. Why do they come to listen to me? Why do the sovereign? Because it fucking works. If it doesn't work for you, then something's wrong with you. I mean, literally. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Because the program doesn't work unless you pull the trigger. Metaphorically, not real trigger, but take action. And even though I looked at the report that you guys are going to start filling out, I can't force you to fill it out, but anyway, and I looked at these questions. They can't be that hard. And I looked at them again last night. Because I'm trying to make the seminar better. How can I make them not write down? I counted out. Are you taking notes or are you texting somebody? Okay. Why can't you? In the beginning, your brother couldn't either. We wouldn't have the trouble with the gray suits if you'd listened to me. You don't need to know what gray suits mean, but he knows what I mean. You can't help yourself. But at the end of the week, some of you, not all of you, will be able to help yourself. And you don't have to move into the next door to the pedophile, assuming your kids are 5 now instead of 16. But that's a great analogy to me. Why would you move into a neighborhood that's 70% pedophiles with little kids? Why would you? You wouldn't, would you? But you're doing the same. Why would you have your relatives on your board? Well, I mean, we go through a litany of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things you shouldn't do that many of you are doing today, right now. Okay, am I saying go fuck YouTube? That's okay. Okay, thank you, YouTube. Okay.